sure. Just to be sure, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, clear.
Okay, so first part. You Living Lab is a project funded by the European Union, right? And it helps young people like you to learn new skills, work with companies, and bring your ideas to life. So the project takes place in Spain, Greece, Cyprus, Jordan, and Egypt, where each country builds a living lab. But what is a living lab? It's a creative space where young people, companies, and communities work together to find new solutions. So, but why this project? Many young people today are full of creativity, but sometimes they need to like the right space and guidance to grow. This project was created to help you build confidence, leadership, and real life skills that you can use in your future. So the main goals, learn leadership, social and digital skills. We work together with companies and local organizations, gain experience and confidence through collaboration, and create a community of young changemakers. The overall structure of this project has 5 main phases. 4 are training programs, and the last one is a mentoring phase, where you can work direct with companies. This is the timeline overview. Don't worry, we will send all the information by email, but here you can see like the 4 programs and the last stage was regarding mentoring and the real life challenges. And you have
Sorry to interrupt you, but I don't know if it's my problem, but we don't see the slides moving. It's
okay, thank you, Christina.
it's already still in the first slide, so we're not seeing the other ones.
Oh, okay, thank you. Let me try to stop sharing the screen. And I will try again. Can you see my screen?
Right now it works, yeah.
Yes.
The
Okay,
time.
so you can see the timeline overview, the table.
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. So, okay, I was talking about the programs, dates, and the live session. We start today, right? So every Monday, we will have an online session regarding each program. We are going to start with introspective skills. Just to be sure, can you see the next slide?
Yes.
Perfect. So the program 1 is introspective skill. We start from the inside, discovering who you are and what makes you strong. So the week first focus on self-awareness and inner leadership. So this is the online session. You will give a brief presentation regarding the first module, and we are going to explain you everything that you need to log in and access to the full training material. Then the program 2, introspective skills, we look around learning how to connect with others and explore opportunities. This week, we will explore opportunity and network building. Then the week 3 is all about collaboration, trust, and expressing your voice. It's the interactive skills, and we will develop communication and co-creation. And the last program is regarding technical skills. Finally, here is where ideas turn into action. And the key theme is regarding marketing, finance, and project management tool. After we finalize the program, next year, we will start with the mentoring phase. After, like I said before, the programs, we will move in this mentoring phase from February to May, right? And this is where you will work on real challenges with real companies. So the key activities: team project with companies or organizations, guidance from mentors and professionals, and also a final presentation of the youth Innovation Forum. And the outcomes will be real professional experience, new ideas that make an impact, and a strong bridge between youth and the labor market. But which is the impact? For young people, creating employability, self-confidence, and leadership capacity. For companies and communities, innovation solutions and direct access to young talent. And finally, for the ecosystem, a sustainable bridge between education, innovation, and employment. Your Living Lab is not just a training program, it's a transformation process. So, this is a journey of discovery, creativity, and leadership. It's your change to learn, connect, and make real change happen. So, we're going to continue with our ice-breaking activity. So, Christina,
Thank
are you
you, Mila, for leaving me the floor. I would kindly ask my colleague Batul if she can start sharing her screen. In the meantime, welcome everybody. I'm Cristina from Instituto Ikigai, and I'm very happy to see you guys here for our very first live session. And of course, before we start diving deep into that, let's warm up a little bit with this ice-breaking activity. We are going to have two different QR codes. There will be 5 different questions. We will start with the first QR code. So, Batul, if you can. Okay, perfect. It's pretty easy. Honestly, you just have to scan this QR code and answer the questions. Are you guys ready? I will give you I don't know, 30 seconds to connect. And in the meantime, if Batul can share the screen with the Mentimeter page, so we're able to see the live answers. Did you all get the chance to get the QR code? Was it too fast? Because we're strict in time, so I don't want to lose too much time doing this activity because there will be a lot of things to be covered later, and I will leave the floor to my colleagues. So, Batul, let me know. Perfect. Amazing. Okay. The first answer, the first question I want to ask you guys is try to describe your own country with using 3 emojis. So you can think about, I don't know, the vibe, the food, the weather, the people, whatever thing you feel like captures the most the spirit of your country. And as the emojis appear on the screen, we can try to guess which country they represent. Of course, please try not to use flags because it will be like cheating. But if you feel like the flag is the best thing you can use, feel free to use it. And so we need to try to imagine the places just with the emojis. And I don't know, for instance, I'm from Spain. I would put, I don't know, a glass of wine, maybe, a potato, because we're obsessed with potato dishes in Spain. And I don't know, maybe a dancer. Yeah. Here I see an angry face. Okay, interesting. And then I see a paella there. Okay, I guess that's from someone who lives in my own country. Amazing. I will give you like 10 more seconds for more people if they want to answer. You can also use the chat if you feel more comfortable. But yeah. Okay, that one over there has a camel. It's pretty easy. I think I got it. Okay, I think maybe we can move on with the other question. What do you say? Okay, I see a lot coming up. Okay, now keep in mind the countries that you thought about, and let's move on with the second question, because in the second question, I will ask you to pick your own country. So, Batul, if you can move on. Okay, choose your country, and now we can see if we got them right. Because I feel like there's a lot of people from Jordan or Egypt, because reading the emojis. But let's see if we are right. Okay, yeah, okay. A lot of people from Jordan, a lot of people from Egypt too. I think it's amazing. I mean, the thing about online session is that we are all from different parts of the world, but we're here all together, enjoying and spending time together. So amazing. Not a lot of people from Spain and Cyprus and Greece, but we got a lot of people from Jordan, so amazing. And maybe we can move on with the third question right now, which is a little bit more introspective, and it's perfect for our theme, of course, of the live session. So, Batul, if you can move to the third question. Okay, I want to ask you guys, if your current mood were the weather, what would it be? Are you feeling sunny or a little cloudy or like a thunderstorm because maybe you're angry? I don't know. You can either write it or put emojis as you prefer, as we saw that emojis are a universal language that we all understand. I would say that I'm very sunny today because I'm very excited to be here with all of you. And I see a lot of thunderstorms and cloudy. I mean, I think it's very interesting because this really shows how differently we all experience the day. And that's exactly what being emotionally aware is about. It's about noticing our place, mentally and emotional place in the space that we share with other people. So yeah, I see a lot of clouds, but we will figure it out later with the topics and the session. I think we can move on with the fourth question, and we can go back to the presentation because we will have a different QR code to. I love this one, rainbow and sun after the rain. That's a really good one.
Yeah, I believe that there was one participant who's writing, so we'll give him the chance and then move to the other questions.
Perfect. Of course, if you guys want to share the things, you can open your mic and we're here to share. It's a collaborative space. So, okay, I think we can jump to the other QR code if you feel like you've said it all. You see that there's a lot of answers also in the chat of our meeting, and I think it's great. I see that there's a sun, amazing. We're mood buddies because I feel very sunny too. Let's see. Okay, here's the other QR code for the final two questions that are a little deeper, but still they're very easy. Honestly, I say that they're a little deeper, but they're nice. They're nice questions. They're nice questions. Okay, if you all got the QR code, we can move on with the fourth question. Perfect. Okay, do not overthink it because it seems harder, but just go with the flow. I want you guys to think of your inner leader. So that voice inside you that takes action, that inspires, that makes decision. And I want you guys to think about one word or a phrase that describes this inner leader. There could be, I don't know, for instance, in my case, I feel like my inner leader is very curious. And my curiosity really brings me to face challenges that maybe I wasn't thinking about. And I think it's something very nice that I'm happy about. I see a lot of happy, amazing. Also, listener. I think it's a quality that every good leader should have because we're not alone in this world, and we always have to be able to listen to the other people. Helper, creative too, angry. That could be also that's an interesting point of view. And I will leave you 5 more seconds to put your words out of the box. It's very nice too. But I see that the most used word is creative, and I completely agree with that. I share it with you guys. And then last but not least, we can move to the last question, which is a little more practical because, I mean, we're here, we're starting a series of training programs, and the first one regards introspective skills. And what I want to ask you, because these that you see on the screen are all skills that will be explored throughout the training program. And I want to ask you, which one of these do you want to strengthen the most this year? And of course, the training programs will give you a lot of things to work on that. So it's good to decide first what skill you want to improve. So then when you start doing the training program, you will always keep it in mind. And I see that self-confidence has a lot of answers. And I think it's very important because if we don't feel good about ourselves, we cannot be a good leader and we cannot be and stay, let's say, in an environment with a lot of people. So I completely agree with self-confidence, but all of these are very, very important. So I will leave you like 5 seconds more to answer, but in the meantime, I think we can leave this one up so you guys can keep answering. But in the meantime, I just wanted to tell you that this ice-breaking activity has come to an end, and I really think that it kind of broke the ice a little bit. And thank you everybody for jumping in and sharing your thoughts, because right now we have a better sense of who's in the room and also a glimpse into how self-aware and emotionally regulated we are. And it is also an important reminder that being emotionally aware starts with small reflections like these ones too, by checking it with ourselves and with the others, the people that we share the room with. So let's keep this energy up as we move into the modules of the first training program. I will leave the floor to my colleague Zoe, who's going to present you the first module. And thank you everybody in the meantime. And yeah, thank you all.
Thank you, Christina. So let's get started. Let me know if you can see my screen. I hope so.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Amazing. So, as my colleague Christina introduced me, my name is Zoe, and I'm also from Instituto Ikigai from Spain. And yeah, I'm also very excited to start with this first session of the Youth Living Labs with all of you. And yeah, so basically, as already my colleagues said, this first week is going to be dedicated to introspective skills. And specifically, module number 1 is going to be about self-awareness and the discovery of personal values and strengths. I think that already from the ice-breaking activity, you got a bit of the idea and the importance of self-awareness, both for personal and professional life, growth, and overall well-being. But we want to delve good into it. So basically, what is self-awareness? You're going to discover it, of course, and also with the self-paced work of the following days. The idea of today's session is, of course, to give you an introduction to this module. I will introduce you to the key concepts. I will also make you do a little exercise at the end to kickstart with your journey, let's say. But the thing that I want to start with is by saying that self-awareness is not a buzzword, is not such an easy skill that you should overlook, because you might even think that, well, I know myself, what's the matter, basically, of doing this? But it's actually a crucial skill for personal and professional growth. It's about your own satisfaction, your own sense of purpose in your life, and also in your job place. So, what module 1 is going to be about, and what are the learning objectives of this first part of this week? First of all, we want you to understand what self-awareness is and why it is not simply a buzzword, but a crucial skill that will make you more, of course, self-aware, self-conscious, and that will let you be more intentional in your life and in your decision-making. And secondly, we want to we want to help you maybe, or to make you understand better what are your values, your key strengths, your emotions, your behavioral patterns, also your weaknesses, of course. And the idea is to find the right alignment and maybe existing gaps between who you are, so these values and these strengths, and what you do, or what you want to do, what you're planning to do, what are your goals in your life. And finally, we also want to give you some practical tools for self-discovery. And this is very, very important because we are not talking about abstract things. And there are actually very concrete tools that you can use, charts, journaling, for example, as an exercise, and all things that can help you discover better about yourself and self-regulate, manage your emotions, build better and stronger relationships, find more satisfaction in your daily routine and decisions, and so on. So let's start with the working definition. Here you can see what work psychology researchers Sutton said. And she basically defines self-awareness as the capacity to monitor our internal states as well as our interactions with other people. So as you can see, already, there's a dual dimension in self-awareness. It's both about understanding ourselves and our emotions and our inner psychological processes and our experiences, but also our behaviors and the way we relate to the other people, the way other people receive our behaviors, what is also our impact on them. For example, I don't know, let's start with an example. You are having a conversation with a friend or a colleague, and you start feeling frustrated. Maybe you're getting mad at this person. In this context, self-awareness is what allows you to see that frustration and also to find its source. Where does this feeling comes from? And this will allow you to be more intentional in your response, even more effective in your communication, maybe. And this is basically the difference between simply be brought around by your emotions and having an intentional answer and not simply react spontaneously and very reactively, maybe with anger. And then if we start going more deep into the analysis of self-awareness, we can find several ways in which self-awareness appears and shows up in everyday life. And I think that the first level of differentiation can be made between situational and dispositional self-awareness. Situational self-awareness happens in the moment. So it's basically the immediate and automatic process that we make because we automatically compare the action that we are making with our internalized standards. And these make us do adjustments as we go in the moment. A very silly example is that, again, we are talking with someone and we notice that we are interrupting him or her, and we pause suddenly because we notice it. On the other hand, dispositional self-awareness is more of a longer-term tendency. It's a reflective habit of focusing on and examining your patterns in your behavior, in your emotions, and also in your relationship with the others. So again, it's both understanding yourself and your inside world of emotions and the way you deal with things, but also your behaviors and the way in which other people receive these behaviors. What is your impact in your social and professional environments? And as a consequence of the reflection, you can come up with this, like, I know that I'm a person that tends to avoid conflict or that tends to take on too much responsibility. The important thing to know is that both situational and dispositional self-awareness are valuable and useful, And in the self-paced work that you will make in the following days on the platform, you will be able to build on these topics and experience it through exercises, read more about it, because the idea is to become more conscious of ourselves, make also very practical exercises, because it's something, like every other skill, is something that we can train and improve. And in fact, the final goal is to improve ourselves and our lives. Then, another differentiation is between internal and external self-awareness. On one side, we have internal or private self-awareness, and you can imagine is the understanding of ourselves, basically. So understanding what are our values, our passions, what are our strengths and weaknesses, understanding our emotions and psychological processes. So this is our inner world. And careful, this kind of self-reflection is meant to be led in a healthy way and not through rumination. Rumination is when we get stuck, basically overthinking and even criticizing ourselves. And of course, this is really counterproductive. The idea of self-awareness is actually to build sorry for the noise. The idea of self-awareness is, of course, to build self-esteem, actually, and to have an healthy personal and also professional, but mostly personal growth through a constructive process. So the idea is to understand yourself better and better and better and improve, but without criticizing and punishing yourself, of course. And then on the other side, we have external or public self-awareness. And this is, as it says the word now, it's our external dimension. So it's our understanding of how others perceive us in your friend circles, in your work environment, whatever, with other people, basically. So here the idea is to be actively seeking feedback from the others. It's also observing the reactions of the people around you and the willingness to improve thanks to these feedbacks, of course. So basically, why does self-awareness matter so much for both personal and professional growth? Research shows that self-awareness is connected to emotional regulation, stronger relationships, and overall well-being. So why emotional regulation? An example is that people that are more self-aware tend to be better at managing stress, for example, because they are able to see their emotions and they are able to manage them in time before they escalate and become, stress, anxiety, and so on. Why better relationships? Because together with our understanding of ourselves, we are also able to see what is our impact on the others, and we can make those adjustments that I was mentioning before. So we can become better communicators, or we can build stronger relationship because we become more empathic and in a more genuine way. And then overall well-being. This is mostly because of the alignment that self-awareness allows to make between our values and strengths and passions and talents with what we do, with our daily activities, with our jobs, hobbies, anything. Because of course, when we are making something that give us motivation because it's something that we like and it reflects what are our principles, our core values, what we want to base our life on, of course, we will experience a higher sense of satisfaction, we will have more energy, and we will feel that our life has a direction and a stronger sense of purpose. And in fact, also some scholars connect the concept of self-awareness with the concept of the so-called human flourishing. So here the idea is that living a good life is not simply about avoiding problems, but it's about living life with meaning, with purpose, and doing the things that you like, the things that bring you joy, basically. And self-awareness can be a core ingredient for flourishing, of course, because it allows you to make this connection between what is inside you and what you can do in the outer world. So, to sum up and to add some further benefits that self-awareness can bring, as I was saying at the beginning, self-awareness makes you make better decisions, because basically when we are more self-aware about our motivations, also about our biases, our habits, and what we want, basically, we will be able to have a better decision-making process in our personal and professional life. Stronger relationship and clearer communication, as I was saying before, the idea of knowing yourself better, but also your behaviors can make you build better relationships with the people around you. And also, when you know yourself more and better, you become more confident, because you will know who you are, you will know what you want to do, and you're going to do it, and you will do it with confidence. And then there's also a part that I like a lot, which is about ethical behavior, because self-awareness basically allows you to be more ethical in the way you act in your job, in your life, with your friends, with your family, with yourself, basically, because knowing also what are the consequences of your action makes you behave better, basically. People that are more self-aware tend to lie less, to cheat less, and to behave more ethically in general. So, as you understood, self-awareness and this first module of our first training program is based on these three interrelated pillars that are values, strengths, and passion. So values is what matters the most to you, both ethically and emotionally. Strengths is what you are naturally good at, which is something that is not talent, is something that you can improve through practice, and of course with the passion that it brings, with passion that is basically what energizes you and what makes you wake up in the morning and making you want to do what you're doing. And to finish, as I was telling you at the beginning, one of the objectives of the course is to provide you with some practical tools for discovering yourself better. So a first instrument that we wanted to give you, and maybe you already know it, is the Ikigai chart. So first of all, Ikigai is a Japanese word that stands for the things that make life worth living. So this concept allowed for the creation of a framework and of a visual graph, a visual chart that you can see also in the image, made of 4 circles that are about what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. And this is a very interesting tool, and I think that is very useful because it's very visual, and you can draw it in a piece of paper and start writing these things about yourself. And here the exercise is to reflect on, of course, these 4 circles, but mostly where these circles overlap. Where are the intersections? Because there you will find basically the things that make life worth living for you, for yourself. And here I think that an important thing to remember is that it's all about the journey. You don't have to be already in the center of this chart with all these circles overlapping perfectly, because also self-discovery, I think it's a never-ending process. You will keep on discovering things about yourself for all your life. But the important thing sometimes is to stop and think about it and enjoy the process, and trying to mix these internal elements that you have with external opportunities that the world give you and leverage on them. And then another practical tool is the SWOT analysis that is generally used more in the business world, but I think it's very interesting to apply it also in the personal development field. It's very structural, maybe it's used in a more strategic way through a more strategic lens, but the idea is very similar to the one of the Ikigai chart. So also here you have 4 quadrants about strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And the idea, again, is to find alignment or maybe gaps to work on between what's inside you, what you are, so what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and make them meet with the external world, with external opportunities, but also the threats. So here it's also important to have an analysis of what can be a potential threat, what could be potential obstacles that could hold you back, and that are important to recognize to get prepared also for that. So yeah, it's another very useful tool to translate awareness into action. So, as I was saying at the beginning, I will make you do a little exercise. So again, you can scan this QR code and you will find a list of strengths. A fuller, like the complete list of these personal strengths is gonna be in the self-paced module. But for now, the idea is for you to take a second to reflect on your strengths. So think about the things that you are naturally good at and rank your top 5 personal strengths. And we will see, well, you will see the results live on your phone, but I want to show them here. Answers again are anonymous, so you can share without problems. Let's see if I can show the results. Okay. So I will give you some seconds, but I will want to leave the floor to my colleague Batul for the next modules because we don't have a lot of time and we want to tell you so many things. But I can see that we are having a lot of love of learning, creativity, curiosity, forgiveness. They are all amazing strengths, all the list that I selected for you here, but very nice. Fairness, teamwork. Okay. I can see how many you are from the presentation because I don't see any of you, but we'll just leave a few other seconds for your answers. But love to see that most of you are putting love of learning as first one, which makes me very happy because, of course, also this project is about learning, not only about yourself. This first week is going to be about introspective skills, but as Mila was presenting at the beginning, you will discover a lot of things. So I love that you love to learn. It will be very useful. Okay, so we have a lot of creative people, curious and honest and forgiving people. So yeah, and fair also. Okay, I think I will stop sharing my screen. Thank you very much for participating. And yeah, I will leave now the floor to Batul so we can move on with module number 2. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Zoe, for all of the interesting insights that you have left. I'm going to just give them 2 minutes to breathe in and breathe out so we can go to module number 2. And there was a lot of information. So guys, 2 minutes, breathe in and breathe out because the next module is going to be very, very interesting and you're going to be enjoying your time while going through it. So 2 minutes, guys. Amazing. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
That is amazing. So, hello everyone. My name is Batul Hashim. I am from Jordan and the facilitator from the Jordan Youth Innovation Forum. I'm really happy that a lot of people are here from Jordan, which makes me very happy to see how much educated our people are and how much participants are from there. So, starting with the number two module, which goes to our emotional management. As you know, that we have the I'm so sorry. Guys, can we please make sure that we are muted? Okay. So going to the second module, it's emotional management. As you know, as people, we have a lot of emotions and we have a lot of things that we feel, which makes it sometimes hard to understand and to manage sometimes. So, starting with emotional management, we're going to start with an activity for 2 minutes, which is breathing in and breathing out. So, how we can do it? We're going to take a little bit of a break, close our eyes, everyone. Even the facilitators, guys, I can see you. Close your eyes and start with this experience. Breathe in, hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out. Again, breathe in, hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out. Okay, now you can think a bit clearly and you can start with the next one, which is emotional management. That was your first step into emotional management, which is breathing, breathing, and breathing. So every time you go through anything that is emotionally difficult, or you need to understand your emotions part very clearly, start with breathing always. So what we will be achieving today. Today we have this big picture, which is what is the emotional management and why it matters actually. Because not a lot of people know how to, to imagine to manage their emotions, and they think it's not really that important. So that's why we're going to have the inner peace toolkit. Starts with mindfulness cycle, which is for awareness. Then we're going to use a really amazing technique called stop technique. And then we're going to cognitive reprisal to reaffirm our thoughts. Then we're going to self-regulate for self-regulation planning for our strategy. Then the body emotion connection for foundation. And finally, we're going to do some integration and we're going to learn some steps for let's say, for completing our inner toolkit. So, what is emotional management? We hear a lot, manage your emotions, but what is it really about? So, it's the skill of recognizing, understanding, and guarding our emotions in a healthy and constructive ways. So it's not only about controlling how our feelings and how we feel, but to learning how to respond to any situation and not only to react. Okay, it's only about learning how to respond and not to react because sometimes we cannot control how we react, but we can control how we respond. And this is what is emotional management all about. So exactly why does this matter? So it matters because it's the first step to success, which is learning how to manage what happens inside of us. So mastering emotions creates resilience and uncertainty, especially in the places of, let's say, ambiguity or not understanding. It gives you clear decision making and it can create healthy relationships while also maintaining inner leadership. Okay. That's why our emotional management needs a toolkit. So let's go and a quick overview into what is emotional management. First of all, it's always mindfulness, which is being aware, being at the moment, understanding yourself, being inside of your mind and being inside of your body, not outside, not thinking about the future, not thinking about the past, nothing. It's always being there at the moment. So I was with a life coach the other day, and she told me one fun fact, which I think about it always. If you're in the past, you are depressed. If you're stuck in the future, you have anxiety. But when you are in the moment, you are mindful and you are active and you can think and react in a good way. So let's go into an overview of how can we, let's say, manage our emotions. Starting with mindfulness, then stop technique, which is taking a pause and getting back. Then reaffirming or cognitive reappraisal, and then self-regulation plan. Self-regulation plan is a strategy to regulate the self. And then finally is the physical well-being, which is the foundation of having a healthy relationship with your own body and your own thoughts. So starting with tool number 1, which is my favorite one, which is the mindfulness cycle. Always a mindful person goes into a cycle. So it has 5 steps to be mindful and in the moment. So mindfulness exactly is creating a space between feeling and the reaction. So there's a huge, let's say, space between them. First of all, we start always with noticing our emotions, how we feel, and we take a step back. We then breathe in, breathe out to anchor ourselves and to manage ourselves. So noticing the emotions, then breathing to manage ourselves and to help ourselves. Then we observe our thoughts and our sensations. So we go deeper into our mind. What I'm thinking at the moment, why am I thinking this? And what should I do to help myself get out of this bubble? Then I accept without judgment. Because the number one enemy for a person is their mind. Minds are very evil to us. They are very harsh to deal with. So accepting without judgment. Accept yourself and then accept the others. Accept yourself without any judging to your emotions, to your feelings, and even your thoughts. So accept yourself without any judgment, and then you can start with moving, and then you can respond. So you notice our emotions, we breathe in, we breathe out, we take a step back, and then we observe our feelings. Why are we feeling this? Then we accept our feelings and the other people's feelings without any judgment, and then we can respond intentionally. Okay, so quick recap, mindfulness is the space between what you're feeling and how are you going to react to it. And always you respond, you do not react. Okay? Tool number 2, which is the stop technique. Stop technique is a very, very good technique for people who have very harsh moments when they want to decide this thing and they're going to react very in a very weird way. So there's a lot of people who goes through a moment in their life where they have this anger management issues or angerment that they cannot control or their minds cannot control what they're doing, and they react in a very difficult way or a very, let's say, impulsive way. So this technique is for you guys. Stop, think, observe, and proceed. Stop what you are doing immediately. Then think. And think, take a deep breath, very, very deep. Breathe in, breathe out for a couple of minutes. So your mind goes into a stable movement. You're reassuring your mind that you are safe. You're not in a fight mode. You're not in any mode. You're in the present. You're in the moment. So you take a deep breath. You think about it. Then you observe your thoughts, your feelings, and everything that's going on. And then you can proceed. Recap the tool number 2, which is the stop technique. You stop, you think, you observe, and then you proceed. These guys take a screenshot of the stop technique because not a lot of people know it, but it's the perfect technique for actually managing what you're thinking, what your emotions are going on, and everything that's going on with your mind. Let's do a small activity. Okay, this is just 1 minute that it's going to take. Let's practice the stop technique. Okay, think of a minor stressful moment. Okay, think of something that recently happened to you that was really, really hard to go through. Okay, and I want you all, even the facilitators, to do this activity with us. Okay, think of a recent stressful event that you've been through. Okay, the last period, and let's do this together. Okay, pause everything. Stop everything you're thinking about. Stop working. Stop managing anything and focus with me. Okay? Let's take one slow, deep breath with me now. And the third one. Now you can think clearly. What are the emotions that you are feeling now? And what is the story inside of your head? Think about the story, how stressful it was. And then ask yourself, what would a thoughtful response look like? If you're in that moment, how would you react differently? Would you react the same reaction or would you do another reaction? Can I have one volunteer to tell us how they did it? Guys, one volunteer to help me out. Raise your hand. Maya, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mayar. Last month, my father was really sick and he went to the hospital and he was about to have like a heart surgery. So I was like panicking and I thought that it was like the end of the world. I was overreacting. Thanks God, nothing happened. He got better. So, how I would respond differently? I would like be logical, talk more to the doctors, and like stop panicking and having an anxiety. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mayar. I hope your father is feeling well now. And we're very sorry to hear that. We hope he's very well now and everything goes smoothly, hopefully, inshallah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
let's move now to the other tool. So, tool number 3, which is cognitive reappraisal, which here I'm going to show you the thought model. The thought model starts with our thoughts. We all have different thoughts about the circumstances in our life and in our world, which can create some feelings. Thoughts always create some feelings. And the feelings create actions or inactions, actions that can happen outside of our bodies, something that we do it in front of everyone, and then actions that happen inside of us. Because as you know, a lot of chemistry happens inside of our minds, inside of our body, inside of our blood circuit. So there's a lot of actions that are going on. The actions always makes results, if they were inside of us or outside of us. So for example, the actions that happens inside of us can create us some illness, happiness, or anything. Meanwhile, the actions that goes on outside can affect the relationship that we have with other people or with ourselves even. The actions always have a result, and the results are always evidence of what we believe. Okay, the results usually give us what we believe in, and our beliefs drive further thoughts. So, to recap this very quickly, the thought model is always starts with our thoughts. We always have thoughts about the circumstances in our world. The thoughts always creates feelings. The feelings can create actions or inactions that can have some inactions can always have some chemical reactions side of us, and some of the feelings or the reactions, sorry, can be outside of us. The actions always creates results. The results keep on giving us beliefs. Now beliefs always give us more and more thoughts. So it's a cycle that goes on and on and on and on. We can never stop it, but we need to know how to control it. We should control our thoughts, we should control our feelings, we should control our actions, and the results that always goes along with that. So whenever you have a thought, you go through the cycle. So it's better to have a journal. This journal was always you write the thought model. What happened to me and how can we work to not have the same reaction again? So this is quickly the thought model that we usually go. Okay, try reframing. Okay, these questions I'm gonna leave it to you guys because we don't have a lot of time to go through it, but always try reframing. So you usually do some reflections, okay? Start with which recurring negative thoughts could I reframe today? What are some negative thoughts that we can start to reframe today that we usually have? So for example, I always have the bad thought that I'm gonna fail my test or I'm not good enough or I'm not pretty enough. So usually do that. Then you have to ask for evidence. Is this thought completely true or it's not true? So you need to ask always for evidence because our brain, as I told you, is our biggest enemy. It can create things that never happened. Then we need to shift our focus. What else might happen? What else might be happening? And always ask, not why me, what can I learn from that? Why is a very tricky question. It feels like a knife. It has two people in the different ends. It might be to hurt you or to hurt the other people. So don't ask why me. Always ask what can I learn from anything that I go through. And then the fourth tool, which is self-regulation planning, which is go back to being the CEO of our emotions. Always learn how to plan, to act, and to reflect. Okay? This slide is very important because self regulation planning always goes deeper into our strategies and our emotions. We need to start with identifying our emotional triggers. What triggers my emotions? What makes me feel upset? What makes me feel happy? And everything. Then we need to recognize our bodies, the physical and the emotional signs around us. So we need to understand how my body is reacting and how my emotions are like a sign. Because if I'm feeling sad, then there's something that needs to change inside of me. There's something that needs to change inside of my mind. And then we need to choose a calming strategy. You need to find a strategy that makes you feel good, makes you feel there and you're present and in the moment, and makes you feel really good because at the end of the day of being uncomfortable you need to go to a comfort zone or to your comfort bubble where you can start thinking very clearly and you can breathe. It can be breathing, it can be journaling, and it can be in different ways. So always think about it very deeply. Then you go through the reflect and adjust. What did I do today? What can I adjust? And what are the things that can be changed in the way that I behave or the things that I feel? So always have this into reflecting and adjusting the feelings and the things that are going on, like a reaction or anything else in it. Okay. Moving then to the tool number 5, which is our final tool for today, which is the body and emotion connections. We need to understand that the body, because it reacts in different ways, we need to understand how the body is always related and connected to our emotions. So there's a physical foundation. The physical factor always affects our emotional effect. For example, lack of sleep can cause us anxiety and irritability. You're always irritated and you're always acting very aggressively towards people. Meanwhile, regular movement can give you focus and confidence. Balanced, balanced rest always give you calmness and clarity to the situation. Always, always give your body their rights. Your body is not a machine, it's a garden. It needs balance. Think of your body as a garden. That means watering, that means rest, that means nutrition, and needs blood. So the brain health always needs nutrition. Anxiety is always from insomnia. You're not sleeping enough. Your mood is always controlled by how much you exercise. So it impacts physical health and vice versa. So understanding how mental and emotional health, we need to understand that our physical health is always going there to, let's say, help us connect and control our emotions. Not controlling your body and not giving it the right basic needs is always going to have an affection on how you emotionally react always. So this is the emotional balance wheel. You have planning, the well-being, mindfulness, reappraisal, and the stop technique. This is how you can balance your emotions, and this is how you can help with, let's say, managing the emotions that goes on through your body. Okay, let's go to our activity for today. Quickly, quickly, everyone, grab your phones and let's go to our Slido. Just 1 second. Sorry. Let's go to the recital. And let's share our recital. Thanks for the people who are already starting uh, to uh, to answer. So the most technique that you are actually feeling really good about is the stop technique, which is very good, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Always use these techniques to understand your body, your emotions, and always make a priority to yourself and what are your emotions, what you're feeling, and how can you control it, and how you can manage it always, just to help with your self-relation and also with your relationships with other people. Thank you so much, guys, for being active with me in this session. And we're going forward to the next module, which is module number 3. Give me a second just to reshare with everyone. Okay, so going to our module number 3. Today I'm going to be here for a long time, so bear with me, everyone. So, going to our module number 3, which is the inner leadership inside of our bodies. We're gonna take 2 minutes break for you guys to think and go deeper into yourself because I know that you've learned a lot of techniques. So write it on a paper, journal it very quickly into what you're feeling, how do you feel about it, and what are you going to use as techniques in the future. So take 2 minutes, guys. Okay, everyone, let's go to our second or third module for the day, which is the inner leadership. Okay, so what is inner leadership and how can we define it for today? So, very quickly, what we are going to achieve throughout this module is always to deconstruct the 4 foundational pillars of the inner leadership. As you know, inner leadership or leading other people comes from within. You need to learn how to lead yourself and then how to lead the other people. So, first of all, we're going to have 4 pillars on how to lead ourselves. And second thing, we're going to diagnose our current leadership alignment and the potential uh, prioritizers. So we're going to understand how is our current leadership aligned with our thinking. Then we're going to develop a personalized leadership development action. So you're going to be let's say, the hero of the day. How you are going to personalize your leadership development action for today. Then you're going to determine how to apply these principles for immediate impact. So we're going to make it not only quick, but immediately you're going to know how to integrate yourself very quickly. So, why do we actually need inner leadership? It's in an increasingly uncertain world marked by rapid change, competitiveness, and social pressure. Young people often find themselves struggling to stay grounded and motivated. So, unfortunately, we are having a lot of, let's say, uncertainty in our world because our world is the only thing that is very, let's say, certain is change, which is can cause anxiety, can cause uncertainty, and some problems inside of us. So what we're going to do is we are going to, let's say, understand how can we lead ourselves and how can we inner lead not only ourselves but also other people, and how we can help them out so we can cope with the changing world around us. So the shift goes from traditional leadership that focuses on managing others, but through leadership begins with self-leadership and how we can understand ourselves and how we can lead it. So exactly what is self-leadership? So we listen to a lot of self-leadership, but what does it exactly talk about? So self-leadership is always the ability to guide our own thoughts, behaviors, and the emotions in the direction of your own goals. So how can we guide our thoughts, behaviors, and emotions to the direction of our goals? So we need always to recognize our strengths and weaknesses, to managing impulses and our reactions, and then to always stay motivated even during uncertainty or during ambiguity in our lives. So, the power of inner leadership. So, developing inner leadership empowers us as a youth to maintain emotional balance under any circumstance, especially under stress, to recover from setbacks with resilience and optimism, and to inspire others through authenticity and example. Always remember these three things. Three things. Inner leadership helps us to maintain emotional balance under any circumstance like stress, to recover from setbacks with resilience and optimism, and always to inspire others through authenticity and always example. Because knowing how to lead yourself always help you to lead other people. Starting with the self-leadership module. So mindfulness always teaches us to notice emotions without judgment. If you remember the second module, we talked about mindfulness. But in the leadership, always mindfulness leads us to being inner leaders. So inner leaders always teach us to notice our emotions without judging us, without judging other people. First of all, you need to be self-aware, to recognize our patterns, how we usually act, and our values and our emotional triggers. What triggers us, what makes us happy, what makes us sad, and everything. Then self-regulation, which is managing our reactions calmly and thoughtfully, not to take any impulsive reactions or any emotions or reactions that could, let's say, make us regret it or being harmful for the others. And then self-motivation, to staying driven by purpose and always not pressure. We need to have an ultimate goal that we need to work for. So inner leadership is always looking into that goal. I need to react in that way so I can reach my goal. I do not want my reactions to keep me away from my goal. And we need to understand that we can never lead others until we know how to lead ourselves. Okay? This is pillar number one. Pillar number two is always purpose-driven action. We have this golden circles that not only usually people use it for themselves, but they use it for their companies. But today we're going to use it for ourselves. Starting with what? Every organization on the planet knows what they do. These are products that they sell or the service. This is how can we, so I usually, yeah, I use this one as an example because a lot of organizations use it, but we are going to reflect it on ourselves. What am I doing? What are the things and what are the goals that I want to achieve? And how can I reach them? How? So usually organizations know how they do. These are the things that make them special or set them apart from their competition. How in ourselves is going to be in a different way. Exactly. How am I special from others and how can I reach my goals? Why? Why am I doing the things that I'm doing right now? So I always need to ask myself, like the organization asks themselves, why am I doing what I'm doing? You need to ask it to yourself. So always the golden circle reflected to yourself. The what, the how, the why. What do I want to do? How am I going to do it? And why am I doing it? And always how is always, let's say, linked to being special. What makes you special? Okay. And then pillar number three, which is building authentic trust. You need to understand and to respect and to trust yourself. A lot of people do not respect themselves, unfortunately, which can cause us some problems or can make them go through uncertainty sometimes. So you need to understand that you need to trust yourself, you need to trust your decisions and then trust the process that you're going through. So you need to trust, which is going to lead to reflection and lead to action. So starting with the trust. You need to understand that trust is built in drops and lost in pockets. So trust is going to take a lot of time, not very quickly. Then you need to do some reflection, which is how do I make people feel when I lead them? You need to understand that you need to look at the other people that you are leading. How are you making them feel? And also ask the same question to yourself. How am I making people feel? And how am I making myself feel? Then you go to action. What can I do to become more trustworthy in return? Not to only people, but to yourself always. And pillar number 4, which is the fixed mindset against the growth mindset. So, unfortunately, we have a huge difference in our minds, which is the fixed mindset, which is looking at things black or white, and the growth mindset that looks at gray areas. You need to believe that skills and intelligence can be developed. You need to differentiate between the fixed mindset, which is I'm not good at that, and to gain more growth mindset, which is I'm not good at this yet, which I can improve again in the life. So we have a comparison chart that says the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. You need to start avoiding feedbacks. You need to learn from feedbacks. Gives up easily, you need to persist with effort. What mistakes you can see as a failure, you need to see mistakes as feedbacks, and you need to understand that challenges, you do not need to fear them, you need to embrace this challenge. For all the challenges are what makes life interesting, and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful always, not all of the time. And the reflection loop. So this loop, you need to always ask yourself, what is reflect, reframe, rebuild, and then reflect again. So you need to reflect on what you have done, you need to reframe it, and you need to rebuild it, and then at the end of the day, reflect again. Or you need to ask yourself, what lessons did that past mistake teach me, and how did they shape who I am today? Okay, and practicing leadership can happen at your private time. So please take a screenshot for this because we're going to move very quickly on it. You need to understand and to think of recent challenge where you had to lead. Always ask yourself in awareness, what was your initial emotional trigger? What made you trigger your feelings? Then ask about yourself, how did you manage your reactions? What are the choices that you made? And what actions did you take as an action? And then reflection. How can you apply purpose next time? Okay? And always have a guided reflection once. Always take 2 minutes to journal your thoughts. So this is actually an activity that I want to give you for later because we don't have a lot of time today. Always take a screenshot for this to apply it later. Is whenever you want to journal, ask yourself these 3 different questions. How do I feel most aligned with my values? How does my energy affect those I lead? And what one thing and one thought I can reframe from I have to I get to. Okay? Please do not forget to do it in your journal today. And with that, I am much done for today. Thank you so much for being with me today and throughout the different 2 modules that I've done today. Thank you so much, guys. And I'm gonna leave the floor to Anita to tell us more about our academy and what we have built together. I hope you really enjoyed it today, and I was really happy to be with you today.
Thank you. I want to thank everyone for joining us. So hello from me as well. My name is Anita Bobazi and I'm representing IED, so the Institute of Entrepreneurship. We will I will guide you through the platform. So the platform is where you will be able to find all the courses as well as the presentations everyone will present to you through the live sessions. So we'll just quickly share my screen. We will go over the process of signing up and show you a bit the platform, but you will also receive some guidelines. So where you will be able to go through the process alone. I will firstly also share the link in the chat. So maybe you guys want to go through the process with me so we can do it at the same time. If everyone just can let me know if they're able to see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Great, thank you. So this is the link of what I just shared with you, which is the platform where you will be able to find all the courses that you will be going through individually, so in your own time, as well as the live sessions that include all the presentations you saw today, as well as the presentations you will see in the next live sessions. So firstly, what you need to do is go here and sign up. Since you don't have an account, you need to sign up, then fill here all the details. Please use an email that you're currently using and have access to, because you will receive a follow-up link where you would need to verify your email once you have registered. And then from there, you will get the verification that your account has been created, so you have access. So you just fill in your email, a username. It doesn't matter what username you put, just something short for you to remember. Your password 2 times, and then your name and your last name. And then you just agree with your data being stored, which is just going to be used for the platform for you to have access to. And then you sign up. Once you have completed this step, you will receive this email, which welcomes you into the academy and asks you to activate your account through this link. So once you select this link, you have activated your account to use on the platform, and then you will receive a second email saying, welcoming you to the platform and saying that your registration has been completed. So please make sure you have received both emails in order for you to be able to access the platform. So now I'm just gonna log in because I have already created my account, so I can show you how everything looks. You could always select remember me so you don't have to re-access the platform again and again. So here is what the platform looks like. It just gives you a few tips of what you will view in this course, that you'll gain your final certifications once you have completed all the modules and all the courses. And here you're able, if you select view all courses, you'll be able to view the 4 different courses. So let's just quickly go through the first one, just so you see the layout of how the courses have been created. So firstly, you have a short description of the course and the different modules that are within the course. So you just get an overview of what you're gonna be learning. And here's the curriculum. So here you'll find the presentations of the live sessions. So each of the live sessions, some of the partners of the consortium, just like today, will do a PowerPoint presentation. These presentations you can find under the live sessions. Then it's been divided into modules. So the videos, just an example, is the PowerPoint presentation. But what we have done as a consortium is we included an avatar who's going to be guiding you through the process. So it's like having someone doing the presentation for you. So it's more interactive and not so boring for everyone. So we're giving you some great start. So you'll find in this specific one, we do have 5 different videos. So 5 different video means 5 different presentations. Once you have clicked on this, you can then press play, and then you will directly view the video of the course. Then following, this has been done for all modules for each different course. Then you will find the PDF lesson, which is the module overview. So it just gives you an overview of what is included in all the module. And then you go through these, you have the activities which are also included in the presentations. So this is more of an academic version, let's say, that you can use if you want something additional to the presentations. This version also does give you more information than what is presented into the PowerPoint presentations. Then at the end of each module, you'll find also the additional material, which is what we have provided as extra, let's say, links or tools that will help you understand more the course. Of course, here you can see all the sections of this course and what's included. And last, we do have a small quiz. Of course, this is just the try I did before. I'm hoping not everyone gets a 40%. So you just need to retake and you can do it as many times as you want. So this is basically how all the modules have been laid out. Once you have completed it, you will see all your progress here. It even shows you how much percentage of the module you have completed. So you just have an overview of what is going on. And then once you have completed all of them, so all 4 are in the completed section, you will be able to gain your certification. Again, we have 4 different modules that you can please feel free to, look around, look at the courses. Today, as you know, we did the first module, which is the introspective skills. So you will find the live sessions here under the live session. So everything that was presented here is here. And then you can either choose to start looking and going over the courses at your own time. You can do this now until we go into the next live session, or it can be done at your own pace. This is basically an overview of the platform. I'm not sure if you have any questions regarding the platform. If you want to write something in the chat for us to review really quickly, or if you have any questions for any of the other my colleagues that did their presentations. Okay, great. The last level, I'm not sure what you mean by last level. Do you mean the how to go through the courses? Yes, there will be offline sessions are the presentations that are within the academic course that I just showed you that you can watch at your own time. And again, in order to gain the certification, you would have to complete the courses that have been uploaded into the platform. I just advise everyone to firstly try and set up your account. Give some time if the emails don't come directly. Yes, I was just gonna say, give some time if the emails don't come directly. You will receive them within a few minutes or a few hours. So go through I'm not sure if everyone's kind of trying to sign up now, so we're gonna have a bit of a delay, but give it some time. You will receive the confirmation emails, and once you have that, you can sign in and watch the courses as you go. Oh, if you meant in person, no, we will not have any in-person sessions for the courses. Thank you. Does anyone want to go through Milagros? You want to
Yeah.
go through because
The
they're
last
asking for the company. Yeah.
Okay, regarding remember that I mentioned at the beginning, right, of the online session, that these 4 weeks we will focus just on the program. So we start today with this online session, and you will go through the course during the week. Next, every Monday will we meet online, right? And after you finalize, we will select participant, depend of you if you finalize or if you went through the course. And at the end of this year, we will select the organization, the companies they are going to participate in this program, right? So next year, you will receive the guidelines and the workflow regarding mentoring and organization and how we are going to work. But please, in these 4 weeks, focus on the program. And of course, during the week, if you have any question, we are going to send each. Do you have tutors in your countries? So you will receive email if you have any question. Of course, that we can have like these online meetings in your national language. So we are going to give you a few minutes if you have any questions.
We had a question in the chat regarding your password. You said your own password once you're doing the sign up. So when you're entering your name, your surname, your email, you choose the password you want. Once you have done that, you need to allow the platform to gather all the information, and you will receive an email to activate your account. To be sure your account has been activated, you will then receive a second email saying that your account has successfully been activated and that you can now proceed to watching and going through the course. Like I mentioned, you need to give the platform some time to process the information, and you will receive the email. In the additional material that we will be sending you that has the guidelines regarding the how to register into the platform, so it will guide you through the process we did today. I will provide my email, so in case you have any issues with the registration, you can send me an email and we'll figure everything out.
Anita, maybe we can give just a few minutes more. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Guys, if you want, you can do the process now and ask us if you have any issues while doing the sign up. As I said for the email, give it some time, it will get to you, and make sure you enter the correct email.
Okay, regarding the question that how many courses should we finish in 1 week? Okay, as I mentioned at the beginning, you have one program, right, per week. That means that you have the whole week to finish like 3 modules, but they are like really brief presentation, short videos, and it's really simple to go through it. But of course, that if you have any question, we will send an email with the tutors' emails account so you can reach out just in case if you need help with something. Anita, maybe they need to check the spam folder or they just need to
Yeah.
wait.
And they just need to wait. I think someone already got, or it was the question. Okay, it was for your question. You also, yes, maybe you could also check your junk or spam folder in case it goes there. As I said, the sender will be labeled as Academy Youth Living Labs. So watch out for that name in your emails, whether that's the inbox, your junk, or your spam folder. So go through that as well. We might have a little delay because I think everyone is trying to sign up now. So you will eventually get the email. Don't worry about the verification. And also make sure that you have entered the correct email address. If you're not sure, you could try again and doing a sign up again. So go through that. In the meantime, if you haven't received the email yet, you can still go through the course layout so you can see how the courses are. You just might not be able to click on the documents that are uploaded, but you can see the layout of each course.
Yes, we finished for today. We're just waiting a few minutes if you have any question regarding the academy.
There is a small quiz at the end of each module that you can take once you have gone through all the lectures, the presentations, and the additional material. It's better for you to go through the additional material that has been provided because it gives you a better understanding and more information of the videos.
And yes, we will share the first presentation with the timeline and the structure and everything by email. Okay, guys, so if you don't have like any more questions, we are going to finish for today. Remember that every Monday we are going to meet online. You will receive all the information by email. Okay, so start with the first program this week, and if you have any question, please send us a email. Thank you, everyone.